Now.
Is everything around you. It's twice the status. We call it the...
And we've got another... They put here. Here.
The first.
I know! There was some fire in it!
Give me something to shoot at.
Did anybody see?
Thanks a lot.
Dad, this isn't like any... If you sweat, you can see it plotting out the storm.
Every time you step outside disaster, it's almost here, and I have an entire book hiccup. And why?
Kill it!
But a dragon. Make sure he stays there.
Kind of the chief has his privileges.
Proud of me, so... You know, I really did hit one. I was just some disappointed scowl.
Thinking about this all wrong, man.
Thank you.
You're not.
Thanks? Brought breakfast. Huh? What do you think, bud? Some salmon. I'll just be... Is extra tricky, because good luck.
Prefers to keep its fiction.
This girl's got a stick.
Barely even look at me.
Look out! Strike. Save yourself.
Wrong head.
Oh, come on. Hiccup. Now. Fun today? Just... Huh? Don't, please!
Got it! It's mine! Oh, bring it over! I don't remember. Hey, slow. Learn what? What exactly was that?
He's a good boy. I'm not one of them. No! You have to kill them.
That's an order! Extra!
Stoic, he won't hurt you.
Take it deep back! Oh,
Dad!
I should have seen the signs.
Dad!
Everything in the ring. But
Please don't hurt Toothless.
Bo, you almost killed.
He's not dangerous
If she could see you now.
himself, that's all. They raided. I've never seen
Their island.
a nest. You can't win this one.
Us. You're not. The nest is up! Get clear!
Gonna stick around. You've got that wild, and I can double that time.
With your teeth.
That thing is their queen. What do we got? Rules relies on hearing and smell.
Hang in its blind spot. Makes a noise.
Specialty. This thing doesn't have a blind. Now. But we're confusing our own dragons. It's not loud. Come on. Going down.
You got it, buddy.
Nope.
Let me return the favor.
To go get my son.
You two, eyes on me.
Now.
Oh, you.
I can't believe that word. No, girl.
Did you get her?
Go.
You can use her. Think that did it?
Aye.
Roger! Let's see if this works.
Son!
Hey guys, today we are diving headfirst into the epic, scaly, and surprisingly heartfelt world of How to Train Your Dragon 2025. Get ready to join me on a journey to the windswept, dragon-plagued island of Berk, where life isn't just tough, it's a constant battle against flying, fire-breathing lizards. We meet our hero, Hiccup, a scrawny Viking who, let's be honest, is more likely to trip over his own feet than slay a dragon. While everyone else is out there clanging swords and yelling battle cries, Hiccup is usually somewhere in the background, probably inventing a contraption that's about to backfire spectacularly. But don't let his initial awkwardness fool you. This kid's got a spirit as fiery as any dragon, even if his muscles are still, shall we say, in development. We're going to follow his transformation from village screw-up to dragon whisperer. If you had a good time with this, a like and a subscribe is a free way to help me keep making more during a particularly intense dragon raid. And trust me, on Berk, intense is just Tuesday. Hiccup, with his usual blend of optimism and mechanical ineptitude, tries to prove his worth. He's got this ridiculously oversized contraption, a sort of bola launcher, that he's convinced will finally bring down a dragon. The crackle of distant fire and the frantic shouts of his fellow Vikings fill the air as he fumbles with his invention. It's like watching someone try to assemble flat-pack furniture during a hurricane, utterly chaotic and destined for a hilarious failure. The clatter of falling roof tiles and the roar of a passing gronkel are his personal soundtrack of inadequacy. He wants so badly to be one of them, to hear the metallic clang of his own weapon hitting something other than the ground, but for now, his most effective defense is probably just blending into the shadows, but then, in a moment that could only be described as pure, unadulterated fluke, his contraption actually works. With a loud thwack and a whirring of ropes, it launches its projectile into the night sky. The dragons are still roaring, the village is still burning, but then a new sound cuts through the chaos, a high-pitched, almost metallic shriek, followed by the distinctive whoosh of something large and heavy rapidly descending. It's the sound of the impossible happening. He watches, mouth agape, as a shadowy figure, unmistakably a night fury, the legendary, never-before-seen nor captured dragon, tumbles out of the sky and crashes somewhere in the distant forest. The thud of its impact resonates, a low, guttural sound that promises trouble or, perhaps, an unprecedented opportunity. Hiccup just stands there, stunned, having accidentally achieved the one thing no Viking has ever managed. The next morning, the aftermath of the raid is clear, with charred timbers and the faint scent of ash clinging to the air. Enter Stoic the Vast, Hiccup's father and, to put it mildly, a man who knows how to fill a doorway. Stoic is everything Hiccup isn't, burly, brave, and utterly without subtlety. He approaches Hiccup, his large hand landing on his son's shoulder. With the weight of a small boulder, the sound isn't a crackle of encouragement, but a sigh, deep and heavy, a testament to years of paternal frustration. He loves his son, that's clear, but he just can't fathom why Hiccup can't be more Viking. Why? It's a classic dad-son dynamic, except here, son, why can't you be more like your uncle? Translates to son, why can't you stop inventing things and just swing an axe at a dragon already? The tension is thick, almost audible, like a slow drumbeat of unspoken expectations, consumed by the need to finally earn his father's respect and silence the whispers of the village. Hiccup embarks on his secret quest. He treks deep into the forbidding forest, the early morning mist clinging to the ancient trees like a shroud. The crunch of dry leaves under his boots is the only sound accompanying him, a lonely rhythm of determination. He's armed with a ridiculously small knife, a tool more suited for buttering toast than slaying a mythical beast. He knows this. We know this, but his resolve is rock solid. He's not just hunting a dragon. He's hunting acceptance, a feeling more elusive than the Night Fury itself. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and pine, and with every step, the tension builds, a silent crescendo towards an unknown confrontation. This isn't just a walk in the woods, it's a journey into the unknown depths of his own courage. Finally, after what feels like an eternity of pushing through undergrowth and tripping over roots, he finds it. There, amidst a grove of ancient, gnarled trees, lies the legendary Night Fury, its sleek, dark form tangled in the remains of Hiccup's boa. It's majestic, even in its current predicament. The dragon lets out a low, guttural growl, a sound that vibrates through Hiccup's very bones, simultaneously terrifying and, well, kinda sad. Its scales are like polished obsidian, reflecting the dappled sunlight, and its enormous, piercing green eyes fixate on Hiccup with an intensity that promises instant incineration. This isn't just a beast. It's a creature of intelligence and palpable distress. The whoosh of its ragged breathing, the slight tremor in its powerful body, it all screams, "I'm hurt and I'm dangerous." The sound of its strained efforts to free itself is a constant, grinding reminder of its vulnerability. Hiccup raises his knife, his hand trembling, the metallic gleam of the blade reflecting the fear in his eyes. This is it, the moment he becomes a true Viking. But then, he looks into those intelligent green eyes, sees the raw terror and resignation, and something shifts. Within him, the expected crack of steel on scales is replaced by the soft snip of a rope being cut. He can't do it. He frees the dragon, a decision that probably had his ancestors collectively face-palming from Valhalla. The dragon, still growling low in its throat, slowly, cautiously backs away, its tail thrashing against the damp earth with a soft rustle. The whoosh of its labored breath fills the sudden silence, a stark contrast to the thundering heartbeats of both boy and beast. It's a moment of profound, quiet defiance against generations of Viking tradition, a simple act of compassion that rewrites his entire destiny. It's like bringing a cat home after your parents said no more pets, but with more fire and existential dread. The now freed Night Fury, still wary, attempts to fly, its powerful wings beating against the air with a mighty whoosh. But something is wrong. Its tail, crucial for steering, is badly damaged. There's a gaping tear in the membrane, a result of Hiccup's earlier shot. The dragon spirals wildly, a desperate, guttural shriek of frustration echoing through the trees before it crashed ungracefully into the underbrush. The soft thud of its landing contrasts sharply with the earlier roar of its power. Hiccup watches, a pang of guilt hitting him square in the chest. He didn't just injure a dragon, he grounded it. The metallic scraping sound of its clawed feet as it tries to right itself, the low, almost mournful rumble from its throat, it all paints a picture of a mighty predator rendered helpless. He's created a problem he now feels compelled to solve, proving that sometimes, even when you try to do good, you just create more work for yourself. Back on Berk, Stoic decides it's high time the younger generation learned how to actually fight dragons, rather than just carve from them. So the Dragon Training Academy begins, led by the gruff, one-handed, and surprisingly philosophical Gobber. He's got a knack for making even the most terrifying situations feel like a slightly dangerous cooking class. The clang of the arena gates opening signals the start of their education, revealing a roaring, fire-breathing Gronkle, its scales rattling like 1,000 tiny cymbals. The air practically crackles with fear, a very real, tangible pressure against Hiccup and the other teens. The thud of the Gronkle's heavy feet as it paces, the low growl rumbling in its chest, all create a symphony of intimidation. Hiccup, of course, is a disaster, fumbling every practice weapon and somehow managing to set his own hair on fire more than once. It's a good thing fire resistance isn't a required skill, or he'd be charcoal by now, while his peers are busy trying not to get eaten. Hiccup is secretly making trips back to the hidden cove. He's not just checking on the dragon, he's bringing offerings. First, it's a fish awkwardly held out like a peace treaty. The dragon, now affectionately dubbed Toothless because, retractable teeth, watches him with those piercing green eyes, a low growl rumbling in its chest. The crunch of Hiccup's footsteps on the dry leaves as he approaches, the soft rustle of Toothless's scales as it shifts, it's all part of this delicate dance of trust. The silence between them isn't empty, it's pregnant with caution and curiosity. This isn't just feeding a stray, it's the tentative forging of a bond across species, a silent agreement that maybe, just maybe, they're both outcasts looking for a friend. It's a bit like trying to make friends with a very large, very grumpy, and potentially flammable cat. Hiccup realizes that if Toothless is ever going to fly again, he's going to need a new tail fin. So armed with a sketchbook and a measuring tape, he starts designing. He carefully approaches Toothless, the whoosh of the dragon's breath a constant reminder of its power even in its injured state. He gently touches the damaged fin, feeling the rough texture of the membrane and the underlying bone. The soft scratch of his pencil on paper as he sketches, the low rumble of Toothless's approval, or perhaps just tolerance, creates a surprisingly domestic scene. It's a testament to their growing trust that Toothless allows this invasion of his personal space. This isn't just an engineering project. It's a profound act of empathy, a silent promise to restore what he inadvertently took. It's like building an ergonomic chair for a T-Rex, but with more potential for getting incinerated. The moment of truth arrives, the first test flight. Hiccup, now strapped into a makeshift saddle on Toothless's back, grips the lever controlling the prosthetic tail fin. The dragon beats its mighty wings, a powerful whoosh that kicks up dust and leaves, and they launch into the air. But it's not graceful. It's less majestic flight and more controlled plummeting. The creak of the leather straps, the sudden, sickening drop as Hiccup fumbles with the controls, the frantic beat of Toothless's wings trying to compensate. It's a symphony of chaos. The air rushes past Hiccup's ears, a dizzying blur as they swerve and dip, coming dangerously close to the jagged rock faces of the cove. Each crash landing is punctuated by a soft thud and a cloud of dust, followed by a low, frustrated rumble. From Toothless, they're a long way from synchronized flight, but they're learning, one terrifying, exhilarating bump at a time. With his secret bond with Toothless growing, Hiccup starts to see dragons not as monstrous beasts, but as complex creatures with understandable behaviors. He applies this knowledge to the Dragon Training Academy, much to the confusion and eventual amazement of his peers and Gobber. Instead of battling, he's learning to understand. The metallic clang of a dragon's claws against the stone floor, the hiss of its breath, the low growl of its warning. Hiccup is now listening to these sounds, interpreting them. When faced with a terrifying zippleback, its two heads hissing and puffing smoke, the other teens are ready to fight. But Hiccup approaches unarmed, using calm gestures and a gentle murmur. The sudden, deafening silence from the normally aggressive zippleback as it calms, its scales now shimmering rather than bristling, is a powerful moment. He's not fighting, he's communicating. It's like discovering that the scary, barking dog next door just wants belly rubs. Who knew? As their flights become more confident and their bond solidifies, Toothless decides it's time to show Hiccup something truly extraordinary. During a routine flight, the dragon suddenly changes course, diving towards a seemingly impenetrable cliff face. Hiccup clings on, his heart thumping like a war drum against his ribs, the rushing air a dizzying blur past his ears. The whoosh of Toothless's wings slows as they enter a hidden opening, the light dimming to an eerie twilight. Inside, a vast, cavernous space opens up, filled with hundreds, perhaps thousands, of dragons. The air is thick with the scent of ozone and the low hum of their collective breathing. The crackle of small, controlled fires from their throats provides a surreal illumination, revealing the sheer scale of this hidden world. It's the dragon's nest, the legendary, mythical home of their enemies. It's a moment that could easily be described as jaw-droppingly terrifying and incredibly cool all at once. Like finding out your pet hamster has a secret underground lair with a mini fridge. Hiccup's sudden, inexplicable mastery over dragons doesn't go unnoticed, especially by the shrewd Gobber. While the other teens are just baffled, Gobber watches Hiccup with a knowing glint in his eye, his brow furrowed in a mixture of confusion and a grudging respect. The clang of the training weapons, the roars of the dragons, the frantic shouts of the other students, it's all background noise to his focused observation of Hiccup. He sees the way the dragons react to the boy, a subtle shift in their posture, a softening of their growls. It's a far cry from the fearful, clumsy lad he knew. There's a soft scratching sound as Gobber absent-mindedly sharpens his hook, his mind clearly working overtime trying to piece together this unexpected puzzle. He's starting to realize there's more to Hiccup than meets the eye, a secret that could change everything. Or, just make Hiccup even more confusing. Even the fiercely competitive Astrid, who initially saw Hiccup as a walking disaster and a rival she could easily outshine, starts to notice his dramatic transformation. She watches him from a distance, her usual scowl slowly softening into a look of genuine curiosity. The thud of her own axe hitting the training dummy is rhythmic, almost angry, as she processes Hiccup's baffling competence. She hears the hushed whispers of the other teens, the newfound respect in their voices. This isn't the Hiccup she knew. This isn't the Hiccup who accidentally set the village chicken coop on fire last week. The metallic scrape of her boot as she shifts her weight, the low, frustrated groan she lets out. She's fighting her own growing sense of unease. Something is definitely up, and Astrid, being Astrid, is determined to find out what it is, even if it means admitting Hiccup might actually be good at something. Hiccup's progress culminates in a display that leaves the entire village speechless. In the arena, where Vikings usually battle dragons to the death, Hiccup does the unthinkable. He connects with one. He faces a deadly natter, its colorful scales gleaming, its sharp spines bristling, but instead of fighting, he approaches it, calmly extending a hand, knowing exactly where to scratch it behind the ear, basically finding its off switch. The natter, instead of roaring its displeasure, lets out a surprisingly docile coo, its spines retracting with a soft, almost leathery sound. The crowd, usually full of shouts and cheers of combat, falls into a stunned silence. You could hear a pin drop, or maybe a tiny, confused dragon scale. The soft rustle of the natter's scales as it leans into his touch, the gentle pat of Hiccup's hand. It's a profound moment that shatters generations of fear and hatred. He's not just taming dragons, he's showing the Vikings a new way forward, one gentle scratch at a time. Stoic, initially skeptical, is now beaming with pride. His son, his clumsy, inventive Hiccup, is finally proving himself a true Viking. The chief's booming laugh, a deep, resonant sound, fills the arena. He claps Hiccup on the back, the force of it almost knocking the smaller boy over. The sound is a clear, unambiguous mark of approval, a rare and precious thing for Hiccup. Blinded by this newfound pride, and fueled by what he believes is Hiccup's success in understanding dragon weaknesses, Stoic then makes a monumental announcement. With a triumphant shout, he declares that the time has come for a full-scale assault on the dragon's nest, believing they finally have the knowledge to win. The collective cheer of the Vikings is deafening, a roar of anticipation for battle. Completely unaware of the horrifying truth Hiccup now knows, the metallic clang of the chief's sword against his shield punctuates his declaration, sealing the fate of many, and deepening Hiccup's internal conflict. Astrid, however, isn't fooled by Hiccup's sudden prowess. Her suspicion has morphed into a burning need for answers. She's too sharp, too observant to believe he just magically became a dragon whisperer overnight. As Hiccup slips away from the celebratory feast, ostensibly for fresh air, Astrid follows, moving like a shadow through the night-shrouded village. The soft crunch of her boots on the damp earth is barely audible as she trails him into the dense, dark forest. The distant sound of revelry from the village fades, replaced by the rustle of leaves and the hoot of an owl, creating a tense, almost conspiratorial atmosphere. She's a hunter and Hiccup is her quarry, though she has no idea just how explosive the truth she's about to uncover will be. It's like following someone you suspect is cheating at a board game, only to discover they're secretly building a rocket in their backyard. Astrid eventually reaches the hidden cove, her breath catching in her throat. What she sees defies every single thing she's ever been taught. Hiccup, the boy who couldn't swing an axe straight, is not only interacting with a Night Fury, the most feared dragon of all, but he's playing with it. The soft clicks and purrs from Toothless, a sound she never knew dragons could make, fills the air, mingling with Hiccup's lighthearted laughter. The rhythmic thump of Toothless's tail against the ground as he chases a stick, the playful nip of his snout, the feeling of absolute, unfettered joy from both of them is completely disarming. It's a scene of utter, impossible harmony, a stark contrast to the chaos and fear that defines their world. The metallic clink of Astrid's weapon as she instinctively grips it, her knuckles white, is the only jarring note in this serene, unbelievable moment. She's witnessed the unthinkable, and her worldview just shattered like a fragile piece of ice. Of course, a Night Fury, especially one so bonded to Hiccup, isn't going to tolerate a trespasser. Toothless, ever protective, senses Astrid's presence and, with a low, guttural growl that vibrates through the entire cove, corners her. In a flash of black scales, he pins her to the ground, his massive paw pressing down gently but firmly enough to immobilize her. The whoosh of his breath, hot and heavy, washes over her face, carrying the scent of fish and forest. The soft scratch of his claws against the dirt near her head is a terrifying reminder of her vulnerability. Astrid, who never backs down from anything, is utterly, completely terrified. Her heart pounds a frantic drumbeat against her ribs. This isn't just a dragon. It's a living, breathing force of nature, and she's at its mercy. This is what happens when you accidentally stumble into someone's secret pet project, and the pet is an apex predator. To convince Astrid, Hiccup decides to give her a crash course in dragon relations, literally. He practically shoves her onto Toothless's back. Her initial reaction is a high-pitched shriek that probably startled every bird for miles, mingled with the sudden whoosh of Toothless's powerful takeoff. They blast into the sky, the wind rushing past her ears, the world below shrinking into a patchwork quilt. Toothless, being toothless, decides to show off, performing dizzying aerial maneuvers, plunging through clouds with a soft, ethereal whisper of air and soaring over the ocean, the spray of water misting their faces. The initial terror slowly gives way to an undeniable, pure exhilaration. The sound of her own laughter, light and free, replaces her screams, a sound she never thought she'd make while strapped to a dragon. It's a truly transformative experience. A moment of pure, unadulterated freedom, punctuated by the rhythmic thrum of Toothless's wings, carrying them higher and higher. It's like your first roller coaster ride, if the roller coaster was alive and breathed fire. Hiccup and Astrid, soaring through the air on Toothless, finally arrive at the dragon's nest. What they see there is utterly horrifying and completely changes everything. Not a communal home, but a terrifying prison ruled by a single, colossal dragon, the Red Death. Its sheer size is unfathomable, a mountain of scales and teeth, easily dwarfing every other dragon. The low, resonant growl it emits vibrates through the very air, a sound of primal dominance. They watch in stunned silence as smaller dragons fly in, regurgitating their catches as tribute. The sickening squelch of food hitting the Red Death's massive maw, the subservient clicks and whines of the lesser dragons, paints a grim picture of a brutal food chain. The air is thick with the scent of fear and smoke, and the constant crackle of its breathing is a morbid heartbeat for this monstrous ecosystem. This isn't just an enemy, it's an apocalypse in reptilian form, a beast that makes all other dragons look like oversized pigeons. After witnessing the horrifying reality of the Red Death, Astrid is visibly shaken. Her usually tough exterior cracks, revealing a core of genuine fear, quickly replaced by a fierce determination. She turns to Hiccup, her eyes wide but resolute. The soft rustle of her armor as she shifts, the intake of a shaky breath. She's processing a world-altering truth. The metallic clang of her own weapon, previously a symbol of her warrior spirit, now seems inadequate against such a foe. She understands now, not just the dragons, but Hiccup's vision. Her voice, usually sharp, is soft but firm as she tells him they have to tell the others. It's a full 180-degree turn for the competitive warrior, a profound moment where her respect for Hiccup blossoms. She's not just a teammate anymore, she's a believer, ready to follow his lead into the impossible. It's like finding out your rival isn't just good at something, but actually right about everything. Back on Berk, with the Viking fleet preparing for war, Hiccup makes a desperate attempt to warn his father. He tries to explain about the Red Death, the real reason dragons attack, the sheer, unimaginable scale of the danger. His words tumble out in a rush, a mix of fear and urgent knowledge. Stoic, however, is having none of it. His booming voice, usually a sound of reassurance, now thunders with dismissal, shaking the very timbers of their home. The frustrated thud of Stoic's fist on the table punctuates his unwavering belief that dragons are just mindless beasts. The clang of his own armor as he gestures dismissively, the crackle of the hearth fire doing little to warm the icy air between father and son. It's a heartbreaking scene. Hiccup, armed with truth, is powerless against generations of prejudice and his father's stubborn pride. It's like trying to explain quantum physics to someone who still thinks the world is flat, except, with more impending doom. The moment of Hiccup's final exam arrives, meant to solidify his status as a dragon slayer. He's pitted against a monstrous nightmare, a truly terrifying dragon that literally sets itself on fire. The air is thick with anticipation and the acrid smell of burning wood. Hiccup, ever the nonconformist, decides to demonstrate his new understanding rather than fight. He approaches the fiery beast, his hand extended, trying to mimic the calming gestures he uses with Toothless. But this isn't Toothless, the monstrous nightmare. Instead of purring, unleashes a guttural roar, its scales rattling like a death rattle, and engulfs the arena in fire. The whoosh of the flames, the terrified screams of the crowd, the frantic clang of the arena gates as Vikings try to flee, it's utter pandemonium. Hiccup's grand demonstration of peace backfires spectacularly. proving that not all dragons are just misunderstood giant puppies. Some are still very much monster. In the chaos, with Hiccup in imminent danger, Toothless, ever loyal, bursts into the arena, a blur of black scales and ferocious roars. The thud of his paws on the arena floor, the guttural snarls he unleashes, it's a terrifying display of protective fury. But the Vikings, fueled by generations of hatred and the current panic, are too many. With shouts of dragon and the frantic whirring of ropes, they quickly ensnare Toothless in heavy nets. The metallic clang of the chains being drawn tight, the crackle of his scales as he struggles, the heartbreaking shriek of pain and fear he emits. It's a brutal, gut-wrenching scene. Hiccup screams his dragon's name, but he's powerless to stop it. He watches helpless as his best friend, his only true confidant, is dragged away, bound and broken. It's a betrayal of trust, a shattering of hope, and a reminder of the cruel realities of their world, made even worse by Hiccup's direct connection. After Toothless is violently captured, the arena falls into a stunned silence, broken only by the sniffling of the younger Vikings and the low, pained rumbles from the now-bound dragon. Stoic, witnessing the raw emotion between his son and the dragon, finally understands. The pieces click into place: Hiccup's strange success, his desperate warnings, the truth in his eyes. The chief's usual booming voice is replaced by a quiet, broken whisper. The thud of his own heavy boots on the ground as he slowly approaches his distraught son is heavy with regret. He sees not just a captured dragon, but his son's trust shattered, his heart broken. The metallic clang of the chains on Toothless's neck resonates with the weight of Stoic's mistake. It's a moment of devastating realization for the proud chief, a painful awakening to the consequences of his own stubborn prejudice. He's lost more than just a dragon, he's nearly lost his son, and with him, the truth. Despite Hiccup's desperate pleas, and Stoic's newfound, crushing regret, the Viking fleet sets sail for the dragon nest, the massive ships, their sails billowing. In the wind cut through the churning waves, their wooden hulls creaking and groaning with every movement. The rhythmic splash of the oars against the water, the distant, determined shouts of the warriors, it's the sound of a people marching confidently towards their doom. Aboard Stoic's ship, Toothless is chained, his normally vibrant green eyes dull with despair. The metallic clang of his chains against the deck is a constant, mournful rhythm. He lets out soft, pained whimpers, a sound that tears at Hiccup's heart. The salty spray of the ocean whips across their faces as they head into increasingly rough waters, symbolic of the storm of destruction awaiting them. It's a fleet of the misguided, carrying a weapon they don't understand, towards a foe they can't possibly defeat on their own terms. It's like bringing a spoon to a gunfight. If the gun was a volcano. Back on Berk, after the fleet has departed, Hiccup isn't one to sit around and mope. Fueled by a desperate hope and his unshakable bond with Toothless, he formulates a plan. With Astrid by his side, they rally the other teens who, after witnessing Hiccup's skills, are now looking at him with newfound respect, if not a little awe. The rustle of their lighter armor as they prepare, the hushed, urgent whispers of their plan, it's a stark contrast to the boisterous Viking war cries. Hiccup, no longer the clumsy inventor, confidently mounts a Gronkel, a dragon he once feared. The soft thud of the Gronkel's heavy feet as he takes off, the surprisingly gentle purr from its chest, signals a new era. He convinces his friends to fly the captured dragons from the training arena, a truly audacious plan. The collective, whoosh of dragon wings as they take to the sky, a squadron of unlikely heroes, is a powerful moment of turning fear into courage. It's like an intervention, but for an entire war, and with flying fire lizards. Hiccup and his impromptu dragon riders arrive at the dragon nest, and the sight is truly apocalyptic. The Viking fleet, once so formidable, is being utterly decimated. The sky is thick with smoke, the air filled with the deafening roars of dragons, the screams of Vikings, and the crackle of splintering wood as ships are torn apart. The colossal Red Death is finally visible in all its horrific glory, a creature of nightmares that makes the earlier dragon raids seem like a gentle breeze. Its earth-shattering roar, a sound that vibrates through Hiccup's entire body, is a harbinger of doom. The metallic clang of axes hitting scales, the frantic splashes as Vikings are thrown into the churning sea, it's a losing battle. The sheer scale of destruction, the overwhelming power of the Red Death, is enough to make anyone's blood run cold. They haven't just arrived at a battle. They've arrived at a slaughter, and Hiccup realizes the full, terrifying weight of what he must do. Amidst the raging inferno of the battle, Hiccup knows his first priority: free Toothless. He and Astrid weave through the crumbling, burning ships, the oppressive heat a physical force against their skin, the crackle of flames a constant threat. The air is thick with smoke, making it hard to breathe, hard to see. They find Toothless, still chained to Stoic's flagship, struggling against his bonds, his guttural growls now laced with desperation, the metallic clang of the heavy chains, the scrape of the lock as Hiccup fumbles with it. Every second is a lifetime. Astrid, with her warrior strength, helps him pry open the stubborn mechanisms. The whoosh of Toothless's relieved breath, a deep, resonant sound, as he finally breaks free, is a beacon of hope in the overwhelming darkness. It's a moment of teamwork, trust, and a desperate plea to turn the tide of a battle that seems utterly lost. They've freed the ace up their sleeve. Now it's time to play it. Reunited, Hiccup and Toothless don't hesitate. With a powerful whoosh of Toothless's wings, they launch themselves into the smoke-filled sky, a tiny speck against the backdrop of destruction, hurtling towards the colossal Red Death. The dragon's monstrous roars, a deafening sound that rattles every bone in Hiccup's body, are a challenge. The air crackles with intense heat as the Red Death unleashes torrents of fire, forcing them into dizzying evasive maneuvers. The metallic clang of scattered debris from exploding ships provides a grim soundtrack to their improbable assault. Hiccup, now a natural on Toothless's back, guides his friend with silent commands, their movements perfectly synchronized. This isn't just a boy and his dragon. It's a single, determined entity pushing back against overwhelming odds. It's the ultimate David and Goliath story, except David has a jet engine and Goliath has very bad breath. Inspired by Hiccup's incredible courage, the other teens, riding their newly tamed dragons, join the fray. They're a ragtag group, but with their diverse dragons, they manage to create a chaotic but effective distraction. The air is filled with the whoosh of multiple dragon wings, the varied roars and screeches of natters, gronkles, and zipplebacks. The crackle of different colored flames, blue, yellow, green, illuminates the smoke-filled sky as they draw the attention of the Red Death's smaller minions. The metallic clang of Viking weapons from below provides a stark counterpoint to the aerial ballet of fire and scales above. Gobber, watching from a burning ship, lets out a roar. The final scenes are a beautiful montage of the new Berk, a place utterly transformed. Dragons are no longer enemies but cherished companions, soaring through the skies with Vikings on their backs. The whoosh of wings is now a constant, comforting sound, the air filled with the joyful roars and purrs of dragons, mingling with the laughter of children. We see Vikings teaching dragons tricks, sharing meals, even using them to help with everyday tasks. Gobber, with his usual gruff humor, now affectionately scolds a gronkle that ate his hammer, the metallic clang of the misplaced tool replaced by a gentle thud. Stoic, now a proud father in every sense, stands beside Hiccup, a silent testament to his growth and his son's extraordinary achievement. The entire island pulses with a new harmony, a symphony of fire and friendship, scales and smiles. It's a testament to the power of understanding, a new world built on empathy rather than fear, proving that sometimes the biggest battles are won not with weapons, but with kindness. And there they are, soaring above it all, Hiccup, his mechanical legs seamlessly integrated, and Toothless, his prosthetic tail fin, a symbol of their shared journey. Their flight is no longer clumsy, but a breathtaking ballet, perfectly synchronized, a fluid dance of boy and dragon. The whoosh of Toothless's wings, the rush of wind in Hiccup's ears, the feeling of absolute freedom, it's a moment of pure, unadulterated joy. They are two halves of a whole, forever linked by destiny, friendship, and a mutual love of high-altitude shenanigans. Their story isn't just about training a dragon. It's about breaking down barriers, challenging old beliefs, and finding strength in unexpected places. It's about a boy who saw not a monster, but a friend, and in doing so, changed his entire world. Their shared flight is a testament to the extraordinary possibilities that open up when we choose understanding over fear, a powerful reminder that even the most formidable creatures can become our greatest allies, and that sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones who don't fit in. If you had a good time with this, a like and a subscribe is a free way to help me keep making more. As the sun rises over Berk, casting a warm, golden glow across the island, we witness a truly inspiring sight. Dragons, once the bane of their existence, now soar freely, a constant, beautiful presence in the sky. It's a testament to the power of one individual's courage to defy expectations and forge a new path. Hiccup's journey teaches us that true strength isn't always about wielding the biggest axe. Sometimes it's about having the biggest heart and the willingness to see beyond the surface. It's a story that reminds us to question our preconceived notions, to embrace the unknown, and to find common ground even with those we've been taught to fear. The future of Berk, and perhaps of the world, is now one of coexistence, adventure, and the boundless possibilities that arise when empathy triumphs over prejudice. It's a hopeful message, reminding us that even the smallest, most unlikely hero can bring about the greatest change, painting a brighter, more inclusive world for everyone.